in that interview, John Lynch said specifically when talking about the Adams trade, he said it was never feasible. He said our main objective was we have to save money for George Kittle. He literally said that, right? Like, I don't know where this came from. Like, of course, like, yeah, if it's Jamal Adams, of course you're going to be like, yeah, you're interested. You look into it, but it was never feasible because we're saving money for George Kittle. And I'm happy that he said that, bro, because it just reassured me that. Oh, go ahead. Well,
let me explain, because this was my report and now it looks stupid. So let me explain what was going on. We got to remember that on July 23rd, the NFL and the NFLPA decided what to do with the lowered revenue. There's going to be massive revenue losses. And for a while, it was thinking that the league wanted to have it all taken care of in 2021. They wanted the cap to go down massively in 2021 and then go back up and be done with it. But the players didn't want that because that means a lot of vets would get cut next year.
Right.
So under the league's proposal, the Niners could afford Jamal Adams because in 2020, he's cheaper than Tart. In 2021, he's only $9 million. And then in 2022, when the cap goes back up, you can give him whatever you want. You can give everyone all the money you want. But that's not what ended up happening. They collectively bargained to have it be spread out over 5 years. So the cap's going to take a hit for half a decade. And at that point, they knew they couldn't afford him and Kittle and Trent Williams. At that point, it became not a reality. And it's interesting that the Seahawks went all in anyway. They're very aggressive with that. Right. They're going to probably have to reload big time in a year. But I do think it was a reality. I know it was a reality. I reported that it was a reality. And eventually, once they got more information on what the cap's going to be in the future, they figured out that it wasn't. But for a while, they were seriously considering it. And I'm not basing it off a report that I heard from a guy who heard a thing from a guy, as we heard some of these things go down with Kittle recently. And there was a lot of flimsy stuff we heard from Kittle that Kittle that didn't come through. I heard it from a guy in the league. Guy in Seattle heard it from a guy in the league. Guy at ESPN heard it from a guy in the league. I understand what Lynch is saying, that it ultimately became not a reality. But for a while there, they were doing their due diligence and they were very interested. Because why wouldn't you be? He's a stud.
Right.
You're so disappointed with my answer right now. Look at you sitting back. You're like, man, Grant, forget Grant. I had to listen to that BS for 2.5 minutes. I tuned out like 90 seconds ago. Say what you want, buddy. I don't believe that's fine. Fair enough.